Hello, another quick video here today on how I apply cardstock to the back of my metal embellishments in order to give me a better adhesion onto the project that I'm using them for. I don't use metallic things a great deal, but it always worries me that you put great globs of glue on the back and hope and pray they stay put. And I've found, after doing that a couple of times and finding that for whatever reason, it was humid, it was the glue, it was poor bonding, whatever, that the embellishments came off. Or you had so much adhesive bubbling up through them that they look quite unattractive. So, needing to use a couple for a recent project, I've thought about it and this is what I came up with. And this, for example, it's got a lot of open work. You put glue on it, it bubbles up, it looks shiny even after it's dried, that sort of thing. So what I did was cut out a shape. I simply lay it on a scrap of cardstock, the same colour as whatever you're using to apply it to. Roughly go round it with a pencil and then cut it out, and you can see that blimpy shape I've got there is very rough, but you can see it goes under the bulk of the embellishment quite nicely. And what we need to do is adhere that, and I find putting it through my little Xyron sticker maker is a very good alternative, or even using double-sided tape. You just want something that's going to adhere that piece of card onto your embellishment. And then what you can do, if you want to get rid of the shininess of the adhesive, though that isn't too bad, I don't know if you can see, it is a little, you can go over it with the powder tool, but that removes the stickiness of it if that's a problem, but it can also leave a bit of a pale residue. So I don't mind that. It's not as bad as using a wet glue and having it all bubbling up thick through. So it gives you a nice, whoops, what have I done there? Picked up the wrong one. And then I want to put a brad on the centre of this. So you just poke a hole through, butterfingers, add the brad, and you've got the tails of the brad, you know, you don't have to trim them off or worry about them. They are hidden behind the cardstock. Push it down, make it flat. And now if you want to adhere that to your project, you've got all of this area of cardstock and a non-compliant glue bottle. And just put a nice amount of glue over the available cardstock space and apply that to your project. You really don't see, if you use the same colour cardstock as your project, you really do not see anything behind it. And for something like this, which is very sort of large and textured and quite heavy, the same thing applies. I wouldn't put that through the Xyron because it might come off because of the weight. But with these you don't have the same concern. You can put a fairly lavish amount of glue and then push it down well onto the back of the embellishment and let that dry a little longer than I'm going to do for the purposes of the video. Apply your glue to the centre of the cardstock and adhere it down, and you get a great bond if you're using good quality adhesion. Smaller things like these little flowers and cogs, I simply cut with an appropriately sized punch. See that little circle. I'm going to push these through the Xyron so you can see. I've got 3 there. I'll put them all through. I can get them in. Here we go. This is a layered one, so put it on the back of the flat one that's going to be at the base. Use a pokey tool, make space with a brad. A little larger so the brad will fit. Spread the brad at the back. Push down just on the brad because you don't want to flatten the flower or the petals. And there it is. It's safely on its. It's particularly useful when you use the brad because there's no way that is then separating. Add the glue over the brad and the cardstock. And adhere it down. Cogs are pretty much the same. In fact, I find the cogs work really well. Got the little adhesive disc. And repeat the same process with a brad if you intend to use one. Of course, you don't need to use a brad, but I like to finish them off with a brad. Add the glue to the cardstock. Not the fingers. And there it is. Same with the tiny one. These are a little fiddly, but because they're fiddly, they're often very hard to adhere fully. I'm not sure that I'm going to get a brad into that one. I think it's too tiny. That's okay. Oops. Very recalcitrant glue today. Some weathers affect the adhesion of the glues. Whoops. A bit of over gluing there. Push it down firmly onto the cardstock. Let the glue dry, and the reality is you simply cannot see the cardstock behind them, but you do have much better adhesion. Anyhow, I hope you found that useful, maybe a little bit, and thanks for watching. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.